Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well. Does anybody hold any hope out over the Philip Schofield scandal that they'll actually carry out a complete and thorough investigation? I mean, call me a skeptic, because that's what I am. But didn't we all live in hope over the Jimmy Savile situation? And what happened there? I mean, we even knew about the special operation that they set up to investigate, Operation U-Tree. And yet, the operation was deliberately stalled. But why do you think they would have done that? Why do you think that they allowed Savile to get old and die before it all came out about the true extent of what he was actually doing over the years? Well, it's very simple as to why they did that. Savile was a Freemason. Look it up. He attended all the royal garden parties. He was a friend of Charles, introduced by Lord Mountbatten. All of that you'll find on the internet. That's why they shut it down. The investigating police officer, what we call the top cop, who set up Operation U-Tree, he was likely to have been a Freemason as well. So it's all brothers in arms, this situation, isn't it? When one of them gets into trouble, they all come to the rescue, or they tend to stifle all inquiries, all investigations. It's what they do better than anyone. So do you actually think that they're going to delve deep over Philip Schofield? Let's just say that he was definitely most 100% having an underage relationship with a young lad. Do you think they're really going to want that to come out? Not really, because it means that they're all complicit. All the executives at ITV, just like all the BBC executives were complicit in the shenanigans and the immoral activity that was going on during Savile's reign. So if I was you, I wouldn't get your hopes up too much. Although sometimes you need something to look forward to, don't you? You know, like a pervert taken down and tried and found guilty and maybe serving a prison sentence because of it. One day you live for that kind of thing, don't you? True justice. But it doesn't happen, does it? Mainly because liars are part of this system, aren't they? They prosper, they go on, they get away with things. Really disheartened me, because I like to think that everybody gets their comeuppance eventually. You know, it might take some time, but I like to always hold out that very thought that, yes, they finally got it. And maybe that's how people are going to be when the system comes to a final end. People who are on that narrow road, they're going to think, oh, thank goodness I stayed on that narrow road and I didn't deviate. Because they're going to get their reward, aren't they, at the end of it? I was watching all the news channels last night, one after the other, probably about 20 of them. I've been watching the Dan Wooten interviews with Eamon. I think there's another one on tonight, so I'll be watching that. You can't say that there's not enough evidence that all the bosses convened, got together. Let's come in a bit on the camera. They were cutting a bit like that. That's better, isn't it? So you can't say that they're not convened and they've all got together and they're trying to get their stories straight. Because they know that there's got to be some investigation. It might not be a true investigation, a complete and thorough one, because we didn't have it with other pedos in the past. They don't tend, do they, to really dig deep. They scratch the surface, don't they? And I think they'll just scratch the surface with Philip, because I think they want to save the corporation. I think they want the programme to go on, and they don't want ITV to be tarnished too much, because they're going to need it for their propaganda in the future. They're going to need the BBC, they're going to need ITV, all the Freemason news outlets. They're going to need them all, because they're the ones that are going to spout all the false narratives like they've always done. So BlackRock and Vanguard Incorporated, who likely do own them, who sit at the top of the pyramid of power, they're going to find a way of making this go away. But what can you do about it? You know, who are we? We don't have that kind of power. Like I say, you live in hope that one day, you know, divine retribution comes along and people pay the ultimate price. But that don't seem to be happening at the moment. I'm not saying it's a great situation, this, you know, nothing's great at the moment with the way the system is, the way the world's going. You know, you're one step away from really active combat, aren't you? You know, your own country folk. It's not going to take much. I mean, it didn't take much, did it, for 50,000 Americans to die in Vietnam? I mean, you history check that particular conflict. The French were there, and United States come along and said, "Can we buy your war?" And they bought the war and sacrificed 50,000 young lives to do it. Yes, all we want, all of us, is just to have a happy life, to earn enough money to have some good things in, like, you know, maybe a nice car, maybe not to be slaving away until 76. You know, we want to have a lifestyle where you work hard for nice things, you get those nice things, and then you can enjoy your life in your sort of declining years from 65 onwards. I think that's what everybody wants. But it's not happening, is it? They're not going to allow people to do that, because they just want to keep everybody grinding away. And it just gets too much. I mean, sometimes you just wish, don't you, that you could just opt out. You know, like the old hippie philosophy. What was wrong with that ideology where you didn't get on the conveyor belt of life and do what everyone else was doing, but you just dropped out? Sometimes I think that that's just the best way. You know, and I often look at Romanies and gypsies and travellers, and I think that maybe they've got it right. You know, they take their home with them, and they don't pay the taxes. You know, they get away with quite a lot. Okay, there's a stigma attached to them, but the basic philosophy of why they do what they do makes sense. I mean, I think I'd like that, you know, to buy maybe a motorhome, give up work, and then just find these cheap places around the UK at £10 a time for a stopover for the night, for maybe an electric hookup, and just to stop thinking about work all the time. I've got that much pressure. I've got that many biomass sites to do. I've got so much on my mind at the moment. Yeah, I'm finding time to talk to you guys because I love it. I love talking to you. And I hope you're all well as well. I don't want anybody to be ill. You know, I want you to enjoy your life. But if you've got like masses of debt around your neck, and you're going to have that debt around your neck until you're on your last day of retirement, don't you think that's a heck of a lot of pressure to deal with? There has to be more to this, doesn't there? There has to be more to life. God wanted something better than this for all of us, and we just threw it away. we seem to throw everything good that comes our way. We seem to be able to spoil it, taint it, make it unclean when it was given with such free love in the first place. I mean, at the moment, I can't even comprehend what it would be like to be living in a world where there's no wars. People are civil with everybody. There's an abundant amount of food. Nobody gets ill. Nobody dies. Can't even. I used to be able to. I used to keep that there. It was always there. But at the moment, I can't even think about it. I can't imagine what it's going to be like. It just seems like such a distant dream. Is that what the devil does to you? Does the devil make you believe that everything is some fantasy that's not likely to ever come true? That I know one thing he does. He makes you believe he doesn't exist. So if he doesn't exist, then God doesn't exist, because good and evil, you cancel them both out, and what do you have? You just have man being on the earth until he dies, and that's it. Nothing. No utopia, nothing, no paradise to look forward to, absolutely nothing. There's a lot happening, isn't there? And I'm really going to be so mortified if ITV do not carry out a full investigation. And I will just think to myself, here we go again. Here we go again. Why can't we see justice? Why? Where is it? When was the last time you saw true justice? And we didn't even get it with Hillsborough. And the Liverpool fans, you hear what I'm saying? They didn't even get their justice, did they? Because, again, top coppers, Freemasons, brothers in arms, all clubbing together to cover all their transgressions up and all their sins, all their falsities. They all come together. Never mind them hating us and calling us the useless eaters. And I detest them. I bloody well do. I hate everything about them, because I know that they also hate us with a vengeance, and they want rid of us. So don't hold any hope out that they're going to get a resolution over this Philip Schofield situation. And did you hear Kerry Katona's interview with Dan Wootton yesterday? Yeah, it was. Well, it was typical of Kerry. I mean, she's really good at going for the jugular, but I think she was justified, because if you saw that original interview with Kerry Katona and Philip, he was baiting her. Oh well, there's no doubt about it. But so was the other presenter, and it wasn't Holly. It was someone. Oh, I can't think who it was now that was with him. It'll come to me later. And yeah, they were baiting Kerry Katona, and he gives an excuse, a pretext excuse. Oh, Kerry, the viewers are ringing in. They're concerned about you, as we all are. No, it was television dynamite that he was more concerned with. I think that was when I first saw a side to him that I didn't really like. I thought, oh, here we go. This man is just a hater of women. That's when I felt as if he hated women. I got that little suspicion that the way he treated Kerry was because, maybe that was the turning point in his marriage. I don't know. Maybe that's when things went all tits up for him. But yeah, he was a good actor, wasn't he? pretending that he was everybody's friend. But please, let's just have some justice on this. Please do a proper investigation. We just don't want another Jimmy Savile situation. I don't know if I could put up with that if that happens. Anyway, peeps, I see you all again. You ain't getting too upset about all this. Just want to see something good happen for a change. Bye-bye.